Well, as polling comes to a close in Pakistan, the fate of its main contenders hangs in the balance. Marred by weeks of violence, the people of Pakistan today cast their ballot amid an internet and mobile shutdown. The favourite to win the election is Nawaz Sharif, who is eyeing a fourth term in office, while the Pakistan People's Party's Bilawal Bhutto Zardari is vowing to put up a tough fight. As for cricketer turned politician Imran Khan, he remains in jail, but his party believes he enjoys popular support. But could that make an impact in the election results? As we said, mobile internet services were suspended following back-to-back terror attacks in the country. The move has triggered widespread condemnation by political parties who have levelled allegations of rigging. Meanwhile, prominent leaders were seen at the polling stations with their supporters. The three-term Prime Minister and frontrunner Nawaz Sharif cast his vote in Lahore. He has been cleared of all corruption charges and is eyeing a comeback. Now, top PTI leaders, many of whom remain in jail, cast their votes through postal ballots. These included the former Prime Minister Imran Khan, the former Foreign Minister Shah Mahmood Qureshi and the former Punjab Chief Minister Parvez Elahi, who cast their vote from the Rawalpindi jail, where they are currently lodged. Now, even as millions of voters turned up to exercise their ballot, the threat of terror attacks loomed large on election day, with at least 30 people losing their lives on the eve of elections in blasts in the Balochistan province. And on election day, 5 security personnel were also killed in an attack while patrolling in Dera Ismail Khan District in northwestern Pakistan, while 2 security officers were killed and at least 9 wounded in a bomb blast outside a polling station in the town of Laja in southwestern Pakistan. The Pakistanis are hoping for stability amidst months of political uncertainty and over questions about who will lead the country under the watchful eye of Pakistan's all-powerful military. And for more on this, we're now being joined by Tilak Devashar, the current member of the National Security Advisory Board of India. He's also the former Special Secretary, Government of India, and has, of course, also written 3 books on Pakistan. Tilak Devashar, thanks very much indeed for joining us on the show tonight. And your thoughts on this election in Pakistan. International publications have called this the least credible election with a major footprint of the army, as always. What do you think?
Indeed. The pre-poll rigging has been so extensive and so comprehensive that any government who comes into power after these elections is going to have a major crisis of legitimacy. And if, as required, tough measures are to be taken on the economic front, on the security situation, it will not have the legitimacy that a government should have to be able to push through hard structural reforms. So this is going to be a major drawback of these elections. But in one sense, even before the first vote was cast, the results were known, and for me, it was the army that has won, and now the army is subcontracting governance to a government where all accounts will be led by Nawaz Sharif, will not have a majority, will be the largest party, and then a coalition will be cobbled together so that the army keeps him in check. But I think the credibility and the legitimacy of these elections are very much in doubt.
Right. You make an important point there, Tilak Devashar. The fact is that, the army chief has played a critical role really in the selection process in this election, and also the really Imran Khan's downfall, many believe, many political analysts believe. What do you think of Nawaz Sharif's possible 4th term in office? As you yourself said, how credible would that be? And, Sharif has, among other candidates, at least some would say the most cordial relationship with India.
You see, Nawaz Sharif is 74. If he does become Prime Minister, his focus will be on legacy. That what does he leave behind? That has 4 terms as Prime Minister, what is he going to leave behind? So I think one important factor playing in his mind would be the legacy issue, whether in governance, in the economy, in foreign relations. So we may find a little different Nawaz Sharif this time than for his previous 3 terms. For one thing, I don't think he will deliberately provoke the army, at least not for the next or the first 2 or 3 years. Thereafter, maybe he gets his itch back and he tries it. As far as India is concerned, when he came back, you would recall, from London, he makes a very conciliatory noises. But if you look at the PMLN manifesto, it talks about the same thing, that unless India walks back on the changes made on 5th August 2019, there is no possibility of a dialogue or going ahead. So, I accept that that is for public consumption and to keep on the right side of the army. But let's see how it goes. But on the other hand, I don't think so there's any appetite in India to, pander to anything that Nawaz Sharif or anybody else is going to bring to the table till such time as our own elections are held, and thereafter, whichever new government comes into power, they will take a relook on this entire India-Pakistan thing. Right now, I think the appetite in India for having anything to do with Pakistan is very, very low.
Right. So, also about Imran Khan, do you really think he's still a contender given all the legal challenges that he has despite his fall from grace and his relationship with the army chief? And what about the Bilawal Bhutto factor, the fact that his party has a considerable influence in the Sindh province?
So I don't think so that Imran Khan has much of a chance in this election. But at the same time, we can't write him off. 3 or 4 years' time, depending on how Nawaz Sharif proceeds, the army will keep him in reserve. Maybe they'll pull him out. Every politician like Nawaz Sharif has come back 3 times. So maybe they'll bring back Imran Khan. So when they want to, those cases will get removed in a jiffy. So they will keep Imran Khan in reserve in case Nawaz Sharif runs foul of them and 2 or 3 years down the road. But as Bilawal Bhutto is concerned, yes, he's another card that the army has. But I think he requires a lot of maturity still. He needs to get the experience of running a government or being in government. I don't think so the army will risk bringing Bilawal in so early when he's not really prepared for it. So Bilawal will also be in reserve. PPP is popular in rural Sindh, or what's called inner Sindh. They will win seats there, but not enough to either form a government or be a strong contender for government. They are trying to make inroads in South Punjab, and especially because, the PTI symbol of the bat has not been there. So all the PTI candidates are contesting as independents. And this is where I think patronage will play a big role. And Zardari is known to have opened his money bags. And they may try and win over many of the PTI people who are contesting as independents to bolster his strength. So I think the election results will be an indicator of which way how the road lies for the PPP. You never know, but despite all the bad blood and the kind of statements that Bilawal has been making, you may well find there's a coalition between the PPP and the PML again to run the government.
Right. That would be an interesting situation. Once again, of course, the PPP played an important role in the last elections. Could it be kingmaker in this election as well? And of course, could this be Nawaz Sharif's 4th term in office? And would he be lucky in his 4th term to complete it? Those are questions, of course, which we will know by later tonight. Tilak Devashir, always a pleasure talking to you. Thanks very much indeed.
Thank you, Barry. Thank you. Nice talking to you too.
So, and of course, these are visuals coming in of the ballot papers being counted. And as we said, by later tonight or early morning tomorrow, the election results for Pakistan should be out. This, as many international publications are indicating or have analyzed, is the least credible election, many believe. The fortunes of which are already known. Many believe that this is, of course, Nawaz Sharif's comeback to political power once again, and for Bilawal Bhutto, of course, they've made significant progress in the Sindh province, but too early for Bilawal Bhutto to be Prime Minister, many believe. This election, of course, has seen a series of violent attacks, particularly in Baluchistan and in Khyber Pakhtunkhwa province. Right up from Sunday, we've seen over 50 attacks alone. And today, mobile internet services were shut down during elections. And earlier today, our Pakistan Bureau Chief Anas Malik sent us this report from a polling booth before the counting had been started. I beg your pardon.
We're inside a polling station in Islamabad's NA 47, where what you see behind me are women polling officers, assistant presiding officers. There are women who are here to vote as well. That's from where you have to stamp, then fold, and then from that booth you come to the ballot box over here and then cast your vote. The turnout here has been relatively okay, as what officials tell us, though on the women's side, but particularly overall there has been no incidents of violence. If that's a silver lining, there haven't been any incidents of violence. The reason this elections in Pakistan that are happening after a brief period of about 5.5 years are deemed to have been considerably peaceful. That being said, the political agents of different candidates are onto the other side as well, to my right, and to my left is the polling staff, the polling officers and the assistant presiding officers. Again, to my left is where the place to have your vote stamped in privacy is there, where you have to fold. There's someone stamping and deciding on who who would rule the fate of this country from their part, and once they're done, from that very polling booth they come to this very ballot box right behind me, that's right behind me, and they'll cast their vote there. Overall, the turnout here has been pretty okay, as what officials have been saying, and broadly with just some hours away from the polling having ended, officials here tell us, that officials from the Election Commission of Pakistan tell us that currently there are no requests to extend the voting time. That's a female voter who's just here casting her vote. As you can see, that the ballot goes into the ballot box, and overall there has been a healthy display of voting enthusiasm. Anas Malik in Islamabad, Pakistan, for WION, World is One.
For all the latest news, download the WION app and subscribe to our YouTube channel.